Hello, good evening, everyone. Momentary freezing of everything there. No, it's fine. I'm here. I'm Noah Lake. Welcome back to another week of Mini RPG of the Week. Excited to have you all here for what is week 28. It's week 3 of season 2, and the numbers, Tatauna, they're getting out of hand. Welcome to the stream.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, excited to have you here. Looking forward to what should be another fun week of competition. As usual, the format is going to be that 15-minute warm-up on a map the players have never seen before. A little bit of a mini RPG map, usually a bit of discovery. We had a very discovery-heavy week last week, 25 minutes of it because it was a pathfinding map. We're back to regular business this week, although I have to say, warning the players and those of you who saw the loading screen there, it's not going to be entirely regular business, is it? It's going to be a little bit of well, there's going to be some water, there's going to be some gliders to town. It's going to be, I think, frustrating for some players, as we're going to see exactly how consistent they can get this map down in the first 15 minutes once we load onto it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know it would be very frustrating for myself.
Yeah. There's a reason I'm here talking about the game instead of casting it.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it should be good fun. I mean, like, look, we're seeing some of the usual suspects start to join the server now. Is there anyone that you're seeing joining that you want to keep your eyes on already? Sitting in the background. I mean, I know we see some of the names that play a lot. You mentioned, BMX has already joined, Zemos has joined, Seed has joined. We've had some players.
Oh, yeah. I'm actually looking forward to see how Rob does it. And my man from Brazil, Alips. Let's go. He joined it.
To the server pog. All right, it's happening. It's been a couple of weeks, probably closer to a month or two, since we've had any Brazilian players in the server. So it's nice to see that your presence has managed to bring them back in.
I'm just trying to work with magic, you know?
Yeah, get that out. We're appealing to the South American audience, and of course, Valor de Pork with the.
Let's go.
I can't even remember what flag he's repping on that one, but the server definitely getting there. We should be loading onto map now in a quick second. It is the first week of the month, which means that we have our resident mapper back once again, Ars Velu, with this map, and of course that means that the map has bear somewhere in the title. This time around, it is going to be Water Bear Park, and as we've alluded to a couple of times already, we have been told to expect a couple of gliders, bit of water, bit of plastic, maybe some bounces to go along with it. So we're going to see how that one does go when we get into game here. And I'll tell you, we're loading in, we're getting that top-down view. It is starting to look a little bit spicy already.
This is going to be so interesting. This is such a weird combination of surfaces and interactions with the map. I mean, we were just saying I was going to have a lot of trouble explaining this. Yeah. just gonna wait to see what we get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing how people actually discover the map. I've seen a couple of minuses in chat already. Players have just taken one look at the map and being like, nah, not for me. But hey, maybe they were minusing the warm-up map. Okay, like it was a bit of a dirt oval. I mean, we're Trackmania play. We're European on this side. We don't go for that NASCAR thing. A lot of F1 fans instead of NASCAR. They didn't like that oval. But we should be loading into map now. We should be getting a first look at what exactly is going on here and seeing how these players do manage to do once they start getting around this track.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. There we go. We're loaded in. We're going to be on board, it looks like, with Neko Jim. So why don't we jump over to him and see what's going on? And yeah, I mean, look, we were promised water, we were promised reactors, we were promised plastic. That's kind of exactly what we're getting.
Yeah, exactly. This should be really interesting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, I just got loaded into the map, so
yeah, I see.
I'm just starting to see people going around and reading chat.
I'm just keeping an eye on stream here, and we're dropping a couple of frames here, so we're just going to try and get that sorted out nice and quickly here. But Neko Jim is going through this. We're going to see, I think, the usual. I mean, look, it's mini RPG here, Tatana. We're going to see some transitions. We're going to see a little bit of, players actually having to find their way across and getting through it. And there is a little bit of pathfinding here in the first 15 minutes always.
Yeah. I'm following Nabla as he goes through the map. And this is crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, the whole concept of mini RPG for a competition, for me at least, seems really, really interesting because it's a sort of map you usually have to take a long time to learn. And people going ham at it so soon and having to compete on it. This is so interesting.
Yeah, I think especially just the mini RPG maps in general, it is a lot of fun. We have a lot of players who are very good at that pathfinding and discovering their way around the map and seeing how far they can push the map as quickly as possible. Always a lot of fun. As we'll jump on board with Yogg to see what he's doing. He's struggling a little bit to get around the map right now. He's managing to get through that finish. We'll get on board for a full clean run with Yogg to see exactly what he's doing on the map so far. Right now, one of 6 players to have finished the map is now making his way back around for another go at it. There's going to be, I think, a few upside down sections using the water to full effect as well. Wet wheels on plastic, those aren't going to dry off, but then you get back onto the tarmac and the dirt will dry those wheels off back into this middle section. Then it's water bounce into a bug slide with the plastic bounce if you need it. There's safe ways through this plastic map as well, and I suppose we're probably going to see if that plastic bounce or if the bug slide is faster. I mean, look, we have to guess the bug slide is probably faster, right?
It usually is, yeah. I mean, whenever I see potential bug slide, I just go for it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's at least tempting.
It's more fun. Yeah, it's more fun tempting. Even if it's not faster.
Points for style.
Yeah, you got to get those style points. Very important indeed. And you're going to have to be careful. I mean, look, anytime there's reactor boost, I mean, there is, of course, first of all, potential that there could be maybe a little bit of cheese, maybe a cheeky little cut at some point. I know there's been work put in to try and make sure that there aren't any available. But definitely there are points where we can see players might get a little bit of airtime that they don't want, or maybe airtime that they do want, where you get that reactor, you jump off a lip a little bit, and you take a while to get your wheels back down. And then this finish is interesting because, I mean, look, the kind of risky fin or a safe version and a greedy version of the finish is a staple of this mini RPG kind of genre in general. It's definitely one where a risky fin fits in. And right now, I think like we're seeing that there's definitely potential for a couple of different lines into that finish.
Yeah, I'm here for all the different approaches on this map. And I'm also here for the cheesy. Yeah. I am known to be a cheesy player. I love doing cuts and whatever. Whatever goes up.
All right, you got to keep an eye out, see if we manage to spot any cuts coming through. Again, like, look, Ars Velu put a lot of work in this week to try and make sure that no cuts were available on the map, but maybe an option. As we've seen now, Yogg has gone for the bug slide once, now is trying for the different option of going for that plastic bounce. So we're going to see if there are different options available, if players do end up settling on different routes, or if it is very clearly one route that is the good option.
Yeah.
Going to be hard. I think that's a second place potentially where there could be a bug slide as well. Yogg definitely exploring that one. And this plastic climb up the wall with reactor boost down, and then this turnaround. I mean, anytime there's a turnaround on plastic, gear management going to be something that a lot of players don't like hearing. I mean, gear management, they're scary words, but I think is going to be a consideration at points on this map.
Yeah, for sure. And that climb on plastic with reactor booster, it might not look that difficult, but I know it is a lot harder than it looks.
And that was a run from Yogg. It was good enough to get the local record, and that's maybe a little bit surprising, as it definitely didn't look the cleanest, which just means there's plenty of headroom left on this map. These players can improve a lot before the time is up.
Exactly.
I mean, as we say that, Nabla has immediately sniped away the best place, and we're on board instead with Marius to see what the Safe Meister himself is up to, figuring out around this map. And this is maybe a very interesting map to have someone like Marius play, because, again, like you were kind of saying, those plastic climbs, they're harder than they look, and just taking them slow and steady, being, just consistent at them instead of full risking it, it could suit a player like Marius.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll see. I mean, look, he's struggling a little bit with the ending right now. We're going to see exactly how this one goes, especially the standing respawn. You can see is maybe it's not nice. You don't want to be going for this standing respawn if possible, and it is just wrapping your car around that. And again, I think there's not what we call kind of a traditional risky finish here, right? There is just the one finish block to go through, just that one ring. But definitely there are different lines. And if you want to try and go very greedy at the end there, Tatauna, you can. We're going to see players try and risk at that finish and lose.
Oh, absolutely. I'm here for the snipes. And this map has crazy sniping potential with that ending. That finish is just beautiful.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I love a good snipe.
Yeah, exactly. And as you just said, the last block with the turnaround is with inverted banking, or however you want to say that, is just so big potential for sniping. Because if you go tighter in it, if you have enough speed, you can just jump straight into the finish without falling and whatever.
But like, it's a difficult transition as well at the same time onto that block. We've definitely seen some of our top players like respawning that last checkpoint a few times. Just, you can kind of see them scratching their heads and going like, what am I meant to be doing here? Like, and also, is the standing respawn viable? And it's one of those things that we do want to see players figuring out at this point as well, is what are my respawn lines? If I make a mistake, what do I need to do? You can see Marius exploring it right now. He's kind of going to see what's going on the right side here. And I mean, honestly, I think he's learning that you want to be on the left side. That right side, that is for a standing respawn. You want to make sure you're getting into the water here.
Yeah, I think he actually bonked the CP there, so he was trying to see what he could do if that happens again.
And this is the time to figure it out. Halfway through our warm-up now at this point, 7.5 minutes gone. Taking a look at the clock, no players yet to no players have broken that 1 minute mark. We're a couple of seconds off it. In fact, no players may break the 1 minute mark. But with that said, we do have area at 1:02 and 7/10. And I think this is definitely a map that we expect to see times probably get an awful lot better by the time we're done with our knockouts.
Oh, for sure.
There's especially just going to be so much room.
That finish, I think people will find many ways to optimize that. At some point, people will figure out what is the ideal way to do it.
Yeah, but I do see we have Velu in chat. People love to hate my maps, and I think that's definitely going to be the case this evening. I mean, look, you can't take it personally when someone gets knocked out of a round on a map like this and immediately hits you with the minus and instant quit. I think we're probably going to see that at least once.
I mean, that, in my opinion, is a good indicator of a good RPG map.
yeah. When someone rage quits, sure.
And throws a minus, that is a good indicator of an RPG map. That's what you want to get.
Because we have about 50 players on the server now. Like 1 in 50, that's like a 2% hit rate for making people rage quit. Like, I agree. You know what? You're right. If one person doesn't rage quit, that means you failed to make an engaging RPG map. The level of difficulty just wasn't there.
Oh, man.
We will see. I don't know. Well, hopefully we don't see any of those rage quits early. I do think that this is going to be a map. It's difficult to get perfectly right, but I think we're going to see a lot of finishes. This doesn't feel like a map where we're going to see 15 people get knocked out in round 1 necessarily.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm just so excited for the first few rounds, because those rounds are just usually crazy. People are still figuring out a few things, and stakes are high already.
Mistakes definitely going to be high, and we'll see. I mean, there is that classic warm-up, no elimination round. That's going to be an enjoyable one. We'll see how that one does go, and from there on out, it is going to go pretty quickly. Looks like about 50 players in the server tonight, and with 5 minutes left on the clock, unlikely that that's going to get all that much higher. Mario's showing us just how nasty some of these checkpoints can be. The water in Trackmania, it'll get you, all right? It's pretty nasty, but we're on board with Rob instead. Well, who will we jump on board? Who are we going to jump to? How about we jump to a Brazilian player? Is at least still on the server.
Yeah, let's do Ellipse. Exactly.
Yeah, Ellipse is somewhere. I can find. Oh, the problem with this warm-up round is that the players, the scoreboard is constantly changing, so it's really hard to click people. Jumping. You got to snipe people. This is all right. I know that people are like, yeah, you should practice OSU for your mouse accuracy and things like. Nah. Trying to spectate people in Trackmania, that's the mouse accuracy.
Absolutely.
We'll see how this goes. Ellipse now trying to get it. Currently, let's see when they get across the checkpoint here. How are his times looking? I mean, that's the number 34 local record. 1:14, the best time so far, which, 4 minutes left on the warm-up. I don't know. How are you feeling about Ellipse's chances at the moment, Atana?
I'm confident. Ellipse usually surprises us.
Okay.
It's a Brazilian thing. When pressure builds on, we just figure our way out of things.
Yeah, no, exactly. We've definitely seen that in, especially the football over the last decade or so. Brazil really performing well under pressure.
Come on.
I mean, look, there's a few Germans in the server as well. You knew it was going to get brought up eventually.
Yeah. For sure. I knew at least Rob would say something.
Yeah. Hey, it's the problem is I come from Rocket League background as well. We still use, if there is the scoreline, it still gets called the Brazil, which, maybe it's me.
Oh my God. The Brazil.
The Brazil scoreline. And then it gets spelt with the 7-1 in the middle of the word, BRA71L. I don't know. It's pretty entertaining. Look, that's the last time I'll bring it up tonight. It's fine, okay? It's old memories at this point. Yeah, unless somehow we get up to 71 players and then Ellipse comes 71st. I mean, that'd be pretty wild. Or like a 17th would also work for me, okay? At that point, I'm popping off if Ellipse gets a 17th place. Because that's also a pretty strong finish, I think, in a mini RPG of the week. We'll see how this one goes. We have someone who has joined the server called Trackmania TM, which, I mean, surely has to actually just be someone who's known and has changed their name. So if anyone in chat knows who Trackmania TM is, please let me know. I'm going to, meanwhile, jump on board with Tarpor. I think probably a couple of weeks since we've seen Tarpor play, and my God, I can't click him. I'm getting there. I'm going to get him. I got him. All right, Tarpor, on board with Tarpor. And this is a player. I mean, the Dutchman can definitely put in some good times. This is someone who could be a threat tonight.
Oh, and he already shows how hard and difficult some of these CPs can be.
Yep.
If you don't nail some of these transitions, you just can't do it.
Yep, and I think like what's specifically interesting is that Tarpor has kind of joined the server a little bit late here, and so is trying to learn a little bit slower, and is now going to have to keep learning. So I think Tarpor, a player that we could see near the elimination zone a lot tonight, if he can't quite figure out the map early. But I mean, look, he's getting there pretty quickly.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of feels like he already has it.
Yeah,
it's a solid run so far.
Honestly, all you got to do is point your car around the corner. It's like driving isn't hard. Trackmania is easy game, only 4 buttons, and Tarpor is going to crash out of that drive. So I guess maybe jinx it a little bit, but better to get the crashes out of your system now in warm-up. Minute and a half left on that warm-up. Still trying to get down towards that 1 minute time. That, look, I believe in our players. I think we'll get a sub 1 minute by the end of the competition tonight, but I'm not sure that it'll come in warm-up at this point, and a seed is the closest player to it. Still a second and a half on it, and honestly, it's a very good time by a seed. About 3/10 clear of anyone else. Area holding on to second place. And Tarpor, I said maybe he joined a little bit late. Maybe he didn't. He's currently 3rd on that leaderboard. Nabla there behind him. And I think going down that leaderboard, there is then the names that we expect to see. We have Zemus, we have Hazard, we have Marius, we have BMX. We have Trackmania themselves sitting there in 10th at the moment too.
Yeah, man. This is going to be interesting to watch. Because Tarpor, as you just said, he joined quite late into this and already 3rd. That is quite something. I'm excited to see where this leads him.
Yeah, hopefully quite high up the leaderboard. I guess we'll wait and see how that one goes. Jumping on board for the last minute or so with it's a lot of pressure now to actually try and find someone to jump on board with. We're gonna run out of time. It's a seed. I'm on board with a seed. Yeah, that makes sense. A seed, a player who has a win, maybe 2. Has a seed won mini RPG of the week twice? I know he's come close a couple of times. There was that classic final between a seed and astronaut. That was an awful lot of fun. I know he has at least 1 win to his name. I just don't know if he has a second, but definitely a player who's always in the mix. I think one of the players who is most consistently near the top 5, if not always directly in it.
Yeah, it is one of the big names here for sure. I mean,
he's French, right?
His hints.
Yeah, there is that as well.
That's already something.
yeah, and like they actually are just better. And a seed does seem to be going for that line. That's interesting. All right, I'm glad we did jump onto a seed for the last few seconds because it does seem like he thinks, even though it's an uncomfortable line, taking that right hand side, not going into the water, and trying to get that booster is the fastest way through that checkpoint. And that's interesting. That's something definitely to keep an eye on. I did see that. That's kind of just funny, honestly. That a seed just bonks on the first jump. But again, get that out in this round, right?
Exactly, for sure. If you want to fail, you want to fail soon into the competition.
Yeah,
well, you have chance to keep doing it.
It's just like, you know, the same way that you only have a set number of heartbeats in your life, so you should never exercise, so you never raise your heart rate. You only have a set number of crashes in any Trackmania competition, you know? So you should get them all out of the way in warm-up reps.
Absolute same thing, for sure.
Yeah. And both of them are 100% true. A seed has done us well, because a seed has just shown us another potential issue, which is you can definitely jump below that checkpoint, and then you're forced to go back to the previous one, and that's going to lose you not too much time. It's not the most punishing mistake, but it is going to lose you a couple of seconds in rounds, and especially late in the game, that could be a problem. All right, and chat should be able to hear you. All they can see right now is my face. All they can see right now is. But now we're good. All right, now we're good. And now
awesome.
they can hear
I can see streams up.
There we go. Yeah. All right. Good. We're in with elimination rounds. That was completely smooth. There was literally just incredible stuff. Yeah. All right. Tatana, you've been paying attention. What's going on?
So a seed. I was spectating directly a seed, and he almost failed the start. But as far as I could spot, nobody actually failed it. But it's as expected, anyone's game so far.
Yeah.
Everyone is crashing left and right, but the usual suspects are leading the leaderboards.
Yeah, and at the moment, all 4 of the players who are in the elimination zones have DNF'd or disconnected from the server, which means that, yeah, all you got to do is finish right now, and with a minute timeout, that's going to be pretty safe. Right now, Leuven is the lowest player currently still in the danger zone, so we're on board with Leuven to see if they can make it across the line. Literally 1964. No, that's not the book. Literally, yeah, but close enough, right? I'm going to try and get across it right now. Struggling to find the path. May have joined a little bit late. Not exactly sure where to go right now. That's not the line, baby. Leuven is going to be potentially getting knocked out here in this round. Has managed to overtake someone along the way as well. Jumped up to 48th place, taking a left turn. 22 seconds left. Look, it's still technically doable, but another crash is probably going to be all she wrote for Leuven. And in the first round, a seed has managed to improve their personal best, which is pretty exciting. Beta Toast has joined them underneath the 102 mark. And I think the competition at the top going to continue to be fierce in this map.
Absolutely, and I see my name in the leaderboard somehow. I don't know what happened.
But
I am eliminated, so let's go.
Totally fine, totally fine. And you know what? All you were doing was keeping someone else safe, and it didn't matter. A couple of players didn't get across the line before that timeout happened. Anyway, as I jump on board with Black Pulse, with our admin, to see exactly what he is up to see what's going on. And I'm going to stream the game to you in Discord as well, Tatana, just so that we can...
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Yeah. Share my screen. It does mean chat have lost game audio, so quick, entertain them.
Okay. I'm seeing a bunch of cars, and nobody has made any big mistakes so far. I know Marius is in the mix because that's who I'm following, and we have the stream back up again. Let's go.
Yeah, stream audio, stream in game, everything is good. We're on board with Black Pulse, but he's doing too well. It's boring. Lucker's Turbo is in the hot seat at the moment, is looking to climb back out of it, is managing to climb up to 44, is getting up into 42nd, managing to get a long way out. Good game, Sid, instead now trying to track back on, and you can see that jump, that transition, it's causing problems for players on that sausage block.
Oh, and yeah, as good game, Sid. Oh my, okay. So yeah, that's just yet another example of how hard can you fail some of these CPs.
Yep.
And this is just the one before the water bounce. Oh man, yeah, this is a tough one.
This is going to be tight coming up to the end. That upside down Hockey getting stuck on it. Now Hockey dropping down the leaderboard. Sid is climbed up into 43rd, but needs to not fail the finish. Sid is failing the finish potentially. It's going to be so tough getting across that line in 40th place. Plenty of space left. Was never worried. Varbuzz, meanwhile, head first into a wall and not enough speed to get across the line. Main Life has crossed it, and so that Air 5th will go out. Golden Jet will. Varbuzz joins them, and Hockey, after a fail in the middle of the map, will drop out as well. That got close at the end, Tatana.
That was quite something, yes. I'm happy my boy Main Life is still in.
Yeah, literally, I mean, look, he's got the skin club tag on, and I literally by the skin of his teeth there.
Yeah, exactly.
Managing to stay in that one, and I think, look, I'm still excited. That ending, we're seeing it's maybe causing problems for some of the players who didn't have as much time to practice it. I think it's going to cause problems at the end. We said that is a finish that allows for snipe potential, and this is definitely going to be the case as we end. We're back on board with Subway 12. Another round 4 of 19. 43 players left in the competition. We'll drop to below 40 on this one. And right now, in the hot seat, good game, Sid. Back down there, Darrigan and Seko as well. On board with Seko and seeing if he can make some ground back up in the middle of the map here.
Yeah, with that bug slide, maybe.
Go.
Because that was a good one, even though he left with not as good a speed.
Yeah, and then he hasn't got the reactor. You gotta get the reactor. You gotta get that reactor. That is too much of a speed penalty. The dry wheels now heading through the middle of it is down in last place. As a result, just about makes it to that checkpoint. Just about stays on track. It was not pretty. It may have been very fast indeed. Nope, still not enough to climb out of last place. The players in front holding on there. Although I see a lot of them not managing to make that checkpoint. They will make this checkpoint. Seko drove cleanly through the middle there. I'm honestly surprised that he didn't make up any places.
Yeah, you can see Seko is doing all they can to pick the pace back up, and this is quite paying off, honestly. It got a bit wonky at some points there, but still. Oh man, and here we go to the end. Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, I saw Menglife crash out. Sid is still in the danger zone. I think Menglife has managed to sneak in again. In 39, one place off elimination. I can't use the same joke again, but I will. It's by the skin of his teeth twice in a row. Meanwhile, Rob has dropped out. Sid drops out as well. And it was just,
Rob.
It was, look, Seko, I think, was in near last place for that entire round, drove cleanly through the middle, wasn't making any places, and then came around that last corner up to that last checkpoint, and there was like 5 people respawning in front of him. So again, that finish is going to keep claiming lives.
Yes, and Meng is going to keep seizing the opportunities, it seems.
Yep, he's going to keep managing to do it. Everyone eliminated is now in chat being very sad about it. But hey, that just means you have more time to watch the stream. So honestly, can't be all bad, right? It's worked out for them quite nicely. Absolutely. A lot of crashes early on the map this time around.
Hey, my man Alip's still going strong.
Just about, for the moment, is in 37th, which is like, for a given value of strong, right?
Yeah. Can you spectate someone else?
No, like, honestly, the problem is that the action is here right now, and so we're on board with the Brazilian car.
Absolutely, yes.
It's working
out.
Honestly,
messing, of course.
He's gaining. We're on board with Boo instead, all right? We'll jump on the French car instead, and the Leech has managed to overtake.
Instantly, Ellipse. Yes. Oh, who was that? Oh my.
There were some crashes there. This is legitimately a tense battle. This is very
instant
close.
DNF, by the way.
Yeah, fair. Honestly, I think I would as well. This is a little bit slow. A couple of gears lost for Leafs through the middle section here. It's going to come down to the finish. Has overtaken people in the middle coming up to this finish, which is the position you want to be in. You want to give yourself the best chance. Good transition down the wall there. Heading towards the finish. Fastly respawning in front. Trackmania themselves respawning in front as well. And Ellipse through the finish line will be clear in plenty of space. Plenty of time. Cowen takes 35th and Seko drops out in 36th.
Seko finally gets out. Damn. Yeah.
It was close.
That was a crazy round.
Yeah. Fun round. I mean, a lot of fun, right? And I think we were starting to see some of the players who did well dropping a little bit. You know, we saw the car known as Trackmania sitting, who was near the top of the leaderboard a lot of the time in our warm-up, has dropped a little bit further down it now, but was pretty close to going out on that round as well.
Yeah, you can just feel the pressure is building on right now. It's building up into everyone.
Yeah, the pressure will keep going on, and that's the beauty of Cup of the Day style format, is the pressure just keeps pouring on. You cannot have an off round as things get tighter and tighter. If you're going to have an off round and you're one of the top players, now is the time to do it, when there is still a chance you can claw it back, because you won't be given as many chances later on. Right now, we're going to jump on board with Neko Jim and see how he does in this round.
All right, yeah.
Pretty well.
I mean, this section is usually fine, and then we get to the bugs line here where things get a bit hectic. And you can see a bunch of different approaches.
Yeah, that is where things do start to get a little bit tricky, as Menglife, that transition hasn't gone great for them in a couple of times in the past. This time, it's much better. That is a much cleaner transition, and that should be a little bit of a climb back up into the safe spots for Menglife, but it is literally just in the safe spots, and it's a bit of a drift, and the angles, they work, but they're not comfortable, and it's a bunk at the end of it. I can't believe Menglife survived there, honestly.
That's crazy. So that's the thing. When you usually fail a part of the map, when you actually get it right, you usually don't know what you do with the amount of speed you have.
Yep.
And you can just see that happening to Meng this time around.
Yeah, it is definitely
choking every single turn after that section.
Yeah, It's being very close. Nabla right now needs a bit of a good end to get across. It will do it. A lot of players on top of each other at the end there. Carrot Cake still safe. We're still seeing players cross the line here. Cam is going to potentially drop out, but still Trackmania hasn't crossed the line. Simon will cross, and that means Trackmania TM goes out. Trackmania itself has been eliminated from the game. Very confusing. Cam 45, Callum, and Yorsh all dropping out this round.
Very confusing indeed. Trackmania is out of Trackmania.
Just for extra confusion, I love the TM on the end, just to extra confuse things. Trackmania has dropped out of our Trackmania game here as we play a little bit of Trackmania. Meanwhile, at the top of the leaderboard, just to keep an eye on how things are going, a seed has gotten down below a 1 minute, is a second clear of anyone else, and BMX is refusing to give him a good time, to call it a nice time until he can get below the 1 minute mark. Just, you know, friendly banter up the top of the leaderboard there, but meanwhile, down at the bottom, Beta Toast with a little bit of a fail. Yog with a little bit of a fail as well. Things are going to be a little bit spicy at the bottom here, and that's another respawn for Yog. And that's a very difficult respawn, and Yog is in trouble.
This is going to be interesting to see if they can actually recover from this. Oh, jumps to the other way. Oh man, that is a solid strat actually. Kind of works.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Like, legitimately not bad. Is still trying to climb back though, and is gaining on a couple of cars. Might actually have managed to get back up into the safe spots at the moment. Potentially, no, not quite. Still going to be very close coming down to the end here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always very... Oh, that's not what you want to do in that dropout though.
Yog is driving on the edge here, maybe just a little bit over it. Is crashing a couple of times, is making mistakes that we don't love to see, but is still in with a chance as we head to this finish. Any respawns coming through, there definitely could be one or two. It looks like everyone's getting it pretty cleanly though. Players are getting better at this, and Yog is the player that makes the mistake, and it's an instant DNF. Fasty still coming around the corner. Carrot Cake had gotten across the line, and Vizier had gotten there as well. As that's a big knockout. Yog gone in 31st.
It is, yeah. And that was sort of a rage quit, because if they had just respawned, I think they would be in.
Yeah.
There was still time. Plenty of time.
It would have definitely been close. It would have been close in Yog's defense, but we'll see. Ellipse has said they've managed to get a top 10, and so now they can retire. But it's really how you finish in the last round you play, not just a random one in the middle. I do respect just the confidence of like getting a top 10 at one point and just being like, yeah, I came top 10, and just refusing to play any more rounds. I can get on board with that.
Absolutely, yes. Get out while you're on top, you know?
It's definitely, like, I mean, that's my strategy in life. Yeah, kind of. Absolutely, right now, though, yes. Speaking of things I'm on board with, it's Neko Jim, who is in a dangerous spot, and Zimus in the near elimination zone is just riding outside that line and is going to be fast through the middle of the section. So why don't we go back to main life? A player who's been providing us with plenty of drama, plenty of excitement tonight, and is chasing down Nabla at the moment.
Oh man, this is so interesting. Meng always at the razor's edge. Oh my, okay. This is gonna be...
Yeah,
it's gonna be close if they want to make it.
It's gonna be
absolutely
very close.
I have no doubt.
It's going to be close for our admin as well. Black Pulse right now in 24th place. Now the player chasing down Nabla, and that's a little bit slow out of it. Relying maybe on a crash in front. It may have been a crash in front. Black Pulse is safe for the moment. Gets across in 23rd.
There you go.
And that 23rd means that main life will drop out just on the wrong side of that dividing line this time around.
Just at the very limit, yes.
It's tough. It's tough. It's Simon a 20210. Is that a 90210 reference? Is that just the year 2021 with a 0 on the end? We may never know. Either way, they are gone, and we will have no more time to puzzle over the mystery. One of the players from Loading, Darjan, drops out as well. Bueno and Main Life, as we are now heading pretty quickly towards our top 20. Getting there very rapidly. This will be the round that brings us inside it, and then it is our next round to town, and that is the Bloodbath, when we get rid of 1/5 of the remaining players.
Yeah, that is gonna be something.
I'm looking forward to that one. It's always an exciting round. It's definitely a round where people can get caught out. As kind of 20 players left, 4 players going, is where things can get messy. We can lose a top player very, very easily. But at the top of the leaderboard, we are still seeing some very good times being set. Seed still looking pretty untouchable up front, but down at the back, Black Pulse is looking very touchable indeed, and he's gonna have to try and touch Tarpoor as well, as Tarpoor is just in front. A couple of mistakes does mean both of them have climbed out of danger for the time being, and it is instead Subway who's chasing, and it's Subway who with a clean overtake.
Bad line, XCP.
It was a very bad line. I mean, I think bad line is maybe even being too generous. They just full-on crashed into the CP. And one of those players as well, I think I saw Hazard still down here as well. Has managed to regain a little bit, though. Black Pulse needs to overtake. Ellipse is down here, too. This is going to be tough. Ellipse slow with the turnover. Slow getting towards this finish. It's going to be tough. It's going to need a crash in front. Zemus might have crashed as well. Zemus is going to drop out. Ellipse is going to drop out. Tomote joins them. And Subway gone as well. That's a pretty brutal round.
It is. GG Brazil.
GG Brazil. It's not a top 20. It is literally one place outside the top 20. That's pretty rough.
It was close enough.
Close enough, yeah. I mean, just extend it to 20. 21's a nicer number than 20 anyway, right? We can all agree that.
Absolutely.
100%. Like, more numbers divide into 21, probably. I don't know, maths. That's definitely not true. But either way, this round is going to be fairly brutal. Did you know why, like, 60 minutes works so well for an hour? It's because more numbers do divide into 60 than 100. Like, isn't that weird? Doesn't that just feel like it shouldn't be, like, that shouldn't be true, right?
I'm still trying to follow the math here.
Yeah, it's like, look, someone can do them. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all divide into 60, and then so do 10, 15, 20, 30. That's a lot of numbers that divide into 60, and it's more than divide into 100. But, like, look, that's boring. Maths is boring. You know what's not boring is Marius driving fast. And then also we've got one of the many Elcons at the moment here as well, featuring the Into the Breach tag. There's just too many Elcons in the game these days. Who knows who this actually is? It could literally be anyone. But at the moment, they are in the danger zone. The real Elcon would never.
I mean, this is a very difficult map.
Yeah,
oh, that's, yeah, no. The real Elcon would never do that.
I've heard he's literally never made a mistake in his life at the finish line. Seafill did get a snipe onto Hostile, but unfortunately he was for 16th place and still out. Beta Toast comes 15th and hits us with the minus, as that is tough.
Let's go. Map has been validated.
Map has been
actual
validated.
Good RPG.
Yeah, we're totally.
We have a minus.
We've gotten the minus. That means 2% of players think that it's difficult, that it's bad, and that's how it be. And right now,
and that is a great thing about the map.
We love it, right? We love to see a little bit of salt. We love to see a little bit of drama. We did see the snipe as well to 10. We saw a snipe, and it was a really nice one on the line. And unfortunately, both of the players went out anyway.
Yeah.
That's rough. Like, that's just how life be sometimes.
But it's still a snipe.
It's still counter, right? Vizier is down in the danger zone for the moment, but is going to climb right back out. And honestly, I think the players at the top, and we haven't really touched on this, have been very consistent on this map. For a map that we were maybe worried about, I don't feel like we've seen some of the top names down in the danger zone at any point. That's Vizier, a big mistake, though.
Oof, that's rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually if you have consistency on these types of maps, you're just gonna stick to the top positions. Yep. And we have been following the drama, so we're now looking at the top positions.
Yep, exactly. But like even then, I feel like a lot of the time on mini RPG, especially, we see at least a couple of times some of the top players come down to say hello to the danger zone. Don't feel like we've seen that all that much. This could now be a snipe at the end. Hazard is the player in the hot seat. Have there been any respawns? I don't know. Vizier's gonna find out. There has been multiple respawns. Black Pulse was one. Hazard was another. As I think Hazard just straight up missed the finish line.
Yep. And knows he's done for.
Yep. Hazard
just lets it go off the controller.
Hazard missed the last checkpoint? Question
mark? Man.
Yeah.
Such a heartbreak.
That's rough, buddy.
I wonder if they were even at last or something.
Oh, I think it was that turnover. I think that last turnover probably bounced Hazard out. And then Hazard just put the controller down, which, yeah, fair enough. Understandable. As we'll see if that makes a difference to any of these players now later on. Again, Black Pulse going out as well, or respawn on the finish line for them. And that means the players who are in the danger zone, players who made a mistake in the middle, stay alive. We're on board with a seed, yet to improve below that 1 minute mark. We're only out of time to do so. You're getting to a point where just full risking rounds, maybe not the play anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Full risking, I don't know. I feel like with such a hard map, safing is the best way around it.
Yo.
Like if you can consistently get times, then you can average out where you're probably gonna get out by looking at what times other people are doing, and then you know if you can save it or if you have to risk it if you want to keep pushing. And we're at the point where probably risking is still not quite worth it, in my opinion. I would not be risking it, but yeah.
Yeah, I think we're at a point, we're at that like fine tipping point where, you know, in some previous rounds, you can maybe full risk with the knowledge that even if you make one mistake, you're safe, you have time to get back. But we're not at that point anymore. We're also not at the point where full risking is maybe necessary to stay in. Lookers Turbo, though, looks like Turbo will be dropping out. It's 12th place, and BMX gone as well. Another respawn on the finish line. That finish definitely catching players out still here as we approach our top 10. Very close to a top 10 finish for Turbo. And Vizier, who has been very close to being eliminated a couple of times, still stays alive, stays in with a hope at that top 10.
Yeah, and that was another heartbreak round. BMX and Lookers Turbo out.
Yeah.
Things are getting tough.
Some unfamiliar names here in our top 11 at the moment. Wolfie, not a player who's played a huge amount. Vizier, not a player. Jabel as well. Nice to see new names come in. Let's see how deep they can go. Right now, Valeur de Porc is a little way down, and Vizier is that player who's a long, long way back. He's going to need a couple of mistakes from players in front, and we'll see if he gets them. Oh, that's one, but...
That's one.
All right, we need a second one now. Right, Nabla, your turn once we get the camera onto you. No, Nabla's fine, but Wolfie is dropping back a little bit, and there is a 2-second gap now back to the players who are in the elimination zone. Let's see how close they can get to Wolfie before this end.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting to follow because anyone can make mistakes here. And Vizier actually is quite far behind now, but still, I don't know, maybe. If someone has to respawn, it could still mean a chance.
Yeah, maybe Wolfie bounces off here. No, it's close to doing it. Car wobbling a little bit on its roof. It makes it. There is a respawn for Lucario, who is still going to probably make it to the finish this time around. Wolfie, that's a clean line through the middle.
That's a nice
Jabel.
snipe.
It is a big snipe. Jabel also forced to respawn. Still, though, Valeur de Porc and Vizier a little bit too far back to take advantage of it. They will still get across the line one more time. Vizier, after all that hard work, misses out on the Liquipedia page by a single place. Valeur de Porc sneaks onto it, and we are inside our top 10.
Yeah, let's go. Finally into the top 10. Anyone in here already? Big props.
Yeah, we do love the top 10, and it's, again, a few familiar names. Marius here, the player with the most mini RPG of the week, wins by a pretty significant margin. I think he has 5 at the moment, and the most anyone else has is 2 or 3. Wow. Could look to add another one to the collection here, but honestly, this feels a little bit like a Seed's week. With that said, a Seed is languishing a little bit towards the bottom for the moment, and Jabel has closed within striking distance of the PB2. But right now, I think a Seed probably safe for the time being. We'll jump on board with Nabla, who's had a very, very slow turnaround. Wolfie is a long way back as well. So the question is, can they catch the safe master? Marius, probably not. And the field, in general, just starting to get away from our 2 back runners a little bit.
Yeah. And you can even say Marius is like the Brazil of Trackmania. The only one with 5 wins.
You could. You know, you bided your time and you managed to bring it back and point out that, yeah, no, Brazil, pretty good at football, as it turns out. But look, I'll agree with it. Marius pretty good at Trackmania, and I think that's a fair comparison to make. Marius is going to get a safe finish here. Lucario as well, but Beta Toast is having to respawn, does still get across the line, and ultimately Nabla not quite able to catch. 6 attempts down at the end, made a fight of it, and Wolfie is still looking to get that finish in. A 9th place finish for them is nothing to sniff at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I do like the message in chat from Lucario that, like, I keep feeling like this end is random. It's not. It's just a very awkward finish, isn't it?
Yeah, makes it into the top 8. Yeah. I still think like
I don't know what's going on. Like, honestly, I respect it. You know?
Am I still on?
Yeah,
that is quite relatable. Yeah,
I've been there
a bunch of times for sure.
Sure, yeah, no, I've definitely been in top 8s of competitions before. That's a very, very relatable feeling.
I mean, I've been in Division 40.
Yeah,
a couple of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
And I did get top 8 sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, that one time I managed to get a top 8 in Division 40. That's been there. It's tough. A Seed.
Ooh, okay. Let's see if you can still recover from that at this point into the competition.
Because this is our last round of 2 eliminations as well. Has overtaken one, is in front of Neko Jim now. Needs to overtake someone else. No, didn't overtake Neko Jim. Neko Jim just had a very weird jump onto it. A seed does manage to overtake through the middle section. Needs to get one more. So quick. That transition is clean. Wow. It's so clean. No wonder his PB is so far ahead of everyone else. As you say, he went for the turbo as well. Now it's Neko Jim in 6th place. The CEO looking to get across this line. See how things go. Looking for a mistake in front. It's a mistake instead from Neko Jim. It's a mistake from Lucario as well. Tarpor is across the line. And on our last round of 2 elimination, it's Neko Jim and Lucario to drop out in 6th and 7th.
GG's, damn. This was a round.
That was
quite intense.
Man, that transition in the middle from a seed, that's clean.
That was beautiful.
Oh, that's good looking. We get the second minus. It's from Lucario. It's a random finish. It's not actually a random finish. It's not actually random. You just need to hashtag a skill issue, exclamation mark skill issue. I don't look. We won't be toxic. I mean, look, he came 7th. It's an impressive performance from Lucario. But now we're into our top 5. Now it is nothing but impressive drivers. These are big names. And as we're watching Marius with a couple of big mistakes, it's full recovery mode for Marius.
Yeah, we're in for some more drama, apparently. Because this was a big mistake at this point. Let's see if you can still survive after such a big mistake. It's not a respawn, but still.
Yep. Oh, you could survive.
Okay, that might be.
Watching Jabel drive just straight off the edge, and it's a difficult recovery for Jabel. Now it's up to Marius. Just keep it clean. I mean, look, if there's a player that can keep it clean, keep it safe to the end, it's Marius going for the safe line. No reactor boost on this one. Takes the reactor down, and now maybe the only thing that can stop him would be a bounce. It's not. Nice and safe, nice and consistent. Just get the finish. Surely Marius gets the finish. There's no way Marius doesn't get the finish here. He keeps it safe. He keeps it tidy. He keeps it across the line. Jabel just needs to keep clean in the middle. And Jabel will get eliminated in 5th place instead.
And look, if Marius gets a win here, this is foreshadowing for what's coming up with the World Cup of Soccer.
Yeah.
Brazil is going to get the Hexo, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, no doubt in our minds that...
Absolutely. The connection is there. You don't see if you don't want it.
Yeah, well,
deniers.
Yeah, look, okay, I won't comment. It's the safest way. I don't need all of Brazil on my case. That's probably not a fight that I win. Marius does make an overtake. Was that Beta Toast going slowly? No, it was a seed going slowly. And once again, a seed with a little bit of driving to do to get back into it here. It's just so clean. It's just so clean. He's re-overtaken Marius immediately. This checkpoint may be deceptive at times. Marius, though, still behind and falling a little bit further behind as a seed, stamping his mark onto this one. Marius with a very inside line, just staying wide of that wall, and should have good connection here to get speed. But you don't need speed into this section. You need to get turned around as quickly as possible. And Marius has actually dropped time by carrying more speed into that transition. Has fallen a little bit further behind his opponents instead, and that's a very slow transition. That's very unfortunate indeed. It looks like Marius dropping out here, barring a mistake in front, and as we come around the corner, there were no mistakes.
Man,
it won't be another win for Marius.
Brazil's not gonna win.
It won't be a World Cup for Brazil.
It's interesting how a seed and Marius are just like complete opposite.
Yeah.
Marius safe master and a seed just throwing everything at the map.
Yeah.
Nailing every single turn or failing it really hard.
Yeah, which, hey, like, that's what we love to see. A seed, he's managed to make it with a do-or-die playstyle so far in this. He's back on a podium for the umpteenth time here in Mini RPG of the Week, but he has very stiff competition. Tarpor and Beta Toast, neither of them strangers either to this Mini RPG of the Week format. And a seed, once again, he just keeps finding himself out of that turn with work to do.
Damn! How is he so quick? I think with the early turnaround on that Bug Slide section, he gets more speed out of it and bounces harder into the plastic.
Yep. It's been very clean for him. Tarpor, though, is now the player who's dropped behind. A little bit rough and bouncing, squiggling a little bit tight through that middle section and loses the gear, loses his speed through there completely. Is going to have to hope that he can catch up on the end. Let's see, where are his opponents? They're up in front of him. Beta Toast and a seed, both of them heading towards the finishing. I mean, look, it's hard to say that they're going to crash out at this point. Beta Toast is very high, a seed much lower, and either way, both of them have made it through the line. Tarpor will take a 3rd place, and we're into our finals.
GG Tarpor, still into the podium. And it is down to a seed. And I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the other player.
It's a seed. It's Beta Toast. It's
Beta Toast. Yes.
It's A versus B, the Alpha, and well, okay, we won't call him a Beta, the Alpha, maybe the Omega. Either way, someone is taking first here. We're gonna see a big dog at the end of this, and maybe it's gonna be Beta Toast taking second. A very early mistake indeed, and oh no, it's all gone horribly wrong here. Beta Toast, why? We've been robbed of a grandstand finish. It's victory laps for a seed now. And it's in a DNF.
That's a DNF for Beta Toast. Oh man, that's so sad. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, look, Beta Toast minus is the map. I'm going to minus this finals. It's not the finals we deserved, but it is maybe the drive to the finish line that a seed deserves. He's been incredibly consistent all night long. I'll say it, I don't think he's going to PB on this round. It seems unlikely, but based on the
possibly
driving,
not, but still, yeah.
It would
still trying to go for the risky lines.
Yeah, like, hey,
maybe not getting super lucky with it, but yeah, it's a good victory lap.
Bro, Trackmania's deterministic. There's no luck involved at any point. It is still going to be...
This is... Wow.
That's a great time. It's still a very good time. A seed wins for a reason tonight. He will come out on top in Mini RPG of the week. Number 28, week 3 of season 2. Well, hell of a run. Let's see if I can find a way to get us back to caster cameras. I don't think your caster camera is going to be here. I'm not sure mine is going. Molotov screen. That's interesting. Here's my camera. We also have Whoop's name. Unfortunately, you're not here. Also, nobody can hear you. I've just realized. So what we're going to do is nobody can hear you, and I'm very sorry about that. Look, I'm just going to say goodbye. Thank you all for joining us. It's been a pleasure. You can't hear my co-caster. I'm sure he'll say goodbye in chat, and we'll all have a lovely time. I really enjoyed having him on for this one. Hopefully we get him on again, and hopefully we get a slightly better production to bring to you next time around. Thank you again for joining us. Make sure you come back here next week. Make sure you're here to compete next week. And if you have maps that you would like to submit, get in contact with Zederate over on the Discord server, and we'll see you all again soon. I'm going to transition out.